This is an Industry Today webcast produced by Industrial Info Resources of Sugar Land, Texas, bringing you the latest trends in the industrial market, providing the scoop on companies that are leading the way with innovation, new technology, and services that keep industry growing and moving forward.
This is Steve Table, your host for this segment of Industry Today. Our guest company is Dialight, and with us, CEO Roy Burton from Dialight. Roy, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You know, with this podcast, it's a very unique experience where you could be speaking with some plant decision makers, facility decision makers, possibly for the very, very first time. So what would you tell them about Dialight? What do you folks do, and what can you do for them?
Dialight is in the supply of LED lighting for hazardous and heavy industrial applications, and we can bring green solutions that actually save money for our potential customers.
And you've been in business for some time, too.
Since 1938, but not in the LED lighting business, really just in the last 3 years for LED lighting, because the technology has not been viable until that time.
So ideas, unfortunately have to catch up with the technology to support them. You mentioned markets. What markets as well as geographies does Dialight serve?
Well, we're a global company, but the markets we've picked are those where maintenance is important, safety is important. So hazardous and heavy industrial applications like oil, gas and petrochem, pharmaceutical, mining, power generation, food and beverage, water and sewage, and those kinds of applications.
Where are you folks headquartered, and what locations do you have for global service?
Technically, we're headquartered in the UK. We're a UK-listed company, but we have a US headquarters in Farmingdale, New Jersey. We have operations and locations here in New Jersey, in Newmarket in the UK. We have manufacturing in North Carolina and in Mexico, and we have design locations in Germany, in Copenhagen, in Denmark, and we have companies in Singapore, Perth in Western Australia, and in Japan.
You know, as someone who's originally from New Jersey, I could tell you have a little bit of that New Jersey accent there.
Thank you.
In preparing for the interview, I watched your video on your webpage, and I was very, very intrigued. So, if I'm a decision maker, what kinds of problems or issues are you going to help to solve for me?
If you are a major user of lighting, if you're a 24/7 operation. If you're a process operator where closing down your process to change a light is going to be expensive, if you've got hazardous locations where you've got potentially dangerous gases around, if you've got a high vibration environment, we can provide lighting which will last for many years, will save significantly on energy cost, and will give a better quality of light for your operations.
And will also interface a lot better, I guess, in a hazardous environment.
Oh, yes, indeed. I mean, our lights are qualified to international standards for use in those hazardous environments. And generally, we can give very strong paybacks to our customers.
Typically, what kind of paybacks or duration are we talking about?
If it's less than 2 years, it's a fairly easy sell, and that's kind of what we target. And we pick the application so you can get to that kind of payback. And all of our products are pretty much unconditionally guaranteed for 5 years. We would expect them to last significantly longer than that.
One thing that I know a lot of production people look for is in their environment, when they turn on their existing lighting, what kind of a warm-up period, if any, is there? Talk about that with your offerings.
Oh, actually, that's a very good question, because our LED lighting is instant on and almost as importantly, instant off. So if you have an area that's not occupied all the time, we can provide occupancy sensors so that the lights come on instantaneously and they're at their fullest brightness, and they turn off in the same way. And they're not hurt at all by being turned on and off as many times as you want.
I would assume that would also lengthen the life cycle of the offerings as well. The bulbs.
Oh, of course, of course. I mean, not only do you save the energy, the fact that they're not on as much will lengthen the lifetime.
Okay, so again, I'm a plant decision maker. I'm trying to decide. I'm going to go through some comparisons inevitably. How would you compare Dialight's offerings with some others that are out there in the market?
In terms of conventional lighting, significantly longer lifetime, significantly less energy, and with some smart devices added to the lights, then you can make an even better value proposition. We can dim the lights down, so you use less energy if you don't want it to be as bright. As I said before, we can turn them on and off when you need. And if you're looking at LED lighting, we really have pioneered LED lighting in this market space, and we are LED people first and lighting people second. So we build the light to take all the advantage of the technology. Our competitors, as few as they are, will look at, I'm a lighting guy and I've just got a different light bulb. That's not the way that you should approach LED lighting. It's got to be a from the ground up concept,
right,
to get all the advantages.
And when you talk about white LED technology, how has that evolved over the last couple of years?
It's significantly improved. I mean, white LEDs have been around really since kind of 2000 or so, but not efficient enough to be useful. And it's really only in the last 2 or 3 years that the efficiencies and the costs have been good enough. And even today, even though LEDs are improving all the time, you still have to pick your application to get a payback for our customers. And as green as people may want to be, if it costs them money to be environmentally friendly, there's a reluctance to make that investment. But if you can save money and you can get carbon credits, or you can reduce CO2 output and so on, then people are quite keen to do that.
Well, Roy, believe it or not, our time is up for today's visit. So if this is the first introduction someone listening has heard, an introduction to Dialight, what are a few closing bullet points for them to take away?
It's quite simple, really. If you want to save money, if you want to have a safer environment, if you want to have good quality lighting that lasts 3-4 times as long as conventional lighting, LED lighting from Dialight is the way to go, and particularly if you are in a difficult environment where you've got hazardous materials, you've got high vibration, you've got expensive maintenance. We can save you money very quickly and continue for 5, 6, 7, 8 years to continue to save once you've got your money back. Thanks
very much there, Roy. Let me give the contact information to find out more. I encourage you to go to the website, www.dialight, that's dialight.com, email info@dialight.com, or call them on the telephone number, which is area code 732-919-3119, 732-919-3119. Roy Burton, CEO of Dialight, thanks very much for being our guest today.
Thank you.
This is Steve Table, your host for Industry Today. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and at industrialinfo.com.